Lady Spikers going up against the UE Lady Warriors, and later on the FEU Lady Tamaraws, who are feeling very good about themselves lately, will go up against the Adamson University Lady Falcons. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to our live coverage. Boom Gonzalez together with Anne Remulla. Also later on, we'll be joined by Ricky Flores and Patch Cansano working the games and interesting developments after Wednesday's deliberation of the UAAP board, which leads to a change in our team standings.
That's right. So, like what you said earlier, LaSalle's record used to be perfect with no loss, but now with the decision that the board of UAAP had last Wednesday, LaSalle has one game forfeited. So there you can see the team standings now, where LaSalle already has one loss. UST comes in second with 7 wins and 2 losses. And while University of the East now at 3 wins and 5 losses. Maybe later on we can explain what happened. Itong UE actually umangat yung place nila in our rankings for this season.
Yes, even as they are also part of those who were penalized for this season. We'll talk more about that a little later. But yeah, the important thing to remember is De La Salle is not undefeated anymore. They won. They lost off the court, so to speak, but technically they still won against the UE Lady Warriors the last time out. That was just a couple of weeks ago, actually. Their first meeting, January 8, 2011, and it was a very easy win, a relatively easy win for DLSU. I remember that was a very quick game here at the arena.
That's right. Very convincing that game was of the DLSU against UE. However, that game has to be reversed. Actually, ito yung pinag-uusapan natin. That game where LaSalle played against UE, one of the players who played in another league, which is Clarissa Yong, actually played. So, in effect, that game would have to be forfeited, and the results of that game, even if you can see that LaSalle actually scored 75 as compared to 55 of UE, it would be reversed. UE would now have 75 and LaSalle at 0.
Oh, parang ang mangyayari niyan para dun sa mga nagtataka dun sa sinabi ni Ann na 75-0. Well, magiging 25-0, 25-0, 25-0 in favor of UE. It's not just about giving another team a win, it's about changing the scores because it might play a role in the quotient system towards the end of yung eliminations natin. Ano?
That's right.
Para lang klaruin natin. But don't worry, we'll explain more of that a little later on. But DLSU is coming off a win on the court also. And they, this game was weird because a lot of people expected this to be a tougher one for the league-leading LaSalle Lady Spikers dahil ang Adamson, paakyat sila when the last time these two teams met. They were on a roll, they were on a winning streak, but LaSalle made it look easy, and
that's right. Actually, that's true, this game was quite a surprise to a lot of people. We've known Adamson over the years. They're one of the best defending teams. But, in that game, that seemed to be absent from how the Lady Falcons played.
Yeah, they were on a 4-game winning streak and then halted by the league-leading De La Salle Lady Spikers. And this was the score. Look at that. This is what I mean. 25-11 and then 25-14. That's strange.
Very convincing. Although in the second set, a lot of people already held on to their seats kasi dumidikit na. But in the latter part, bumaba pa rin yung laro ng Adamson. And in that game, you can see that, of course, LaSalle dominated in terms of attacks, blocking, as well as service aces. So this is very unlikely because that 7 points from service ace means hindi magandang reception ng Adamson.
Now, Michelle Gumabo, we've been talking about her all throughout the season. You have your regulars, you have Alarca, you have Stephanie Mercado, you have Abigail Marano, who was, the best player in that game, by the way, the first meeting between DLSU and UE. But Michelle Gumabo, what we call the natural athlete, has really shone bright this year for the league-leading Lady Spikers.
That's right. A lot of improvement from last year, and that's why now, even as a young player in the team, one of the more dependable ones, syempre, a crucial position, she plays the utility position. And she's shown a lot of improvement, be it in blocking or attacks. As you can see her statistics there, 14 points, 3 from blocks, and she also got 4 service aces.
Playing comfortably, playing confidently, and I'm sure she'll play a big role again against UE today, who are coming off a loss once again on the court. We're talking about on the court against the girls, like I said, who are feeling good about themselves. The FEU Lady Tamaraws, who have a 2-game winning streak. UE won the first set, but in the second, third, and fourth, FEU played so well. I covered that game, and they played so well. They played so fluid. They played happy and confident as a team.
That's right. I guess for UE, kaya nila eh. It's just a matter of really playing consistently as what you can see in that last game. They were off to a good start, but then towards the end, it seems that they may have relaxed a bit.
Now, Quintero Sale, as always, as you look at the numbers for both FEU and UE and look at the attack difference between FEU and UE at 49-33 and then the total at 97-74. Let's just touch on the captain of the UE Lady Warriors and pretty much almost the singular offense of this team as the games are going on here in the eliminations.
That's right. And we always said this in the past. You know, in a team, hindi pwede na isa lang talaga yung inaasahan mong spiker. Quintero Sale needs support from her other teammates as well. And itong Recto's finest natin, Cristel Rosale, actually is proving that as a team captain, she's someone that the team can really depend on. Look at her stats there, 13 points, 12 coming from her attacks.
And she's going to need all the help that she could get because they're up against the league-leading De La Salle Lady Spikers. We're a few seconds away from finding out who the starting six is here at the arena in San Juan.
Now let's meet the starters first for the De La Salle Lady Spikers. Number 1, Micaela Esperanza. Number 2, Abigail Marano. Number 3, Jackie Alarca. Number 4, Stephanie Mercado. Number 7, Michelle Gumabao. Number 11, Cha Cruz, team captain. Their libero, number 5, Melissa Gohig. And head coach, Romil De Jesus. And now the starters for the UE Lady Warriors. Number 1, Shisa Nebrida. Number 3, Kimberly Dizon. Number 4, Abigail Ponon. Number 8, Lori Longalong. Number 9, Cristel Rosale, team captain. Number 15, Teresa Caballero. Their libero, number 12, Marianne Balmaceda. And head coach, Benji De Jesus.
Well, here we go. We are up and running for the weekend games here at the arena in San Juan. Later on, Adamson and FEU, but first La Salle and UE. Well, I guess before, as we see the starters on our screens, and pag-usapan na natin itong mga pangyayari. Me and Mosey touched on it last Wednesday when the deliberation came fresh from the press, actually fresh from the board. The UAP board just deliberated, and Mosey and I were on board doing that a game that day, and we kind of explained the official statement. But for those who don't know yet, well, we have with us the official statement from the board, who were suspended for the rest of the tournament alongside the 2 La Salle Lady Spikers.
Well, basically, we have 2 La Salle players involved. Along with them are 2 other players, one from UE, which is Alyssa Paril, and another one from UP, which is Lorraine Chua.
And again, the game, now for UE, now this is what you wanted to talk about. They were penalized, but in the team standings, it looks like they were awarded. So how did that happen?
That's right. Well, it's basically because the game that were affected by yung paglalaro ng players who played in a different league, they already lost that game.
Yes.
But
Talo
then,
na.
talo na. So in that game naman of UE against La Salle, which they lost, yung La Salle,
May naglaro.
apektado, may naglaro. So in effect, that game would have to be awarded to UE.
25-0, 25-0, 25-0. Ang nangyari nga lang sa UE, dahil nga talo na sila, kahit natalo na sila, pero naging 0 yung mga score nila. Just to clarify that point that we were trying to make about the scores. But in terms of team standings, they go up and they're now at solo 6th, if I'm not mistaken. So nabiyayaan pa at na a much-needed win for them, actually, if you talk about UE. They've been losing and losing horribly so far after a very good start for them.
That's right. And that reversal of points na nangyari for that game against LaSalle, for UE, it's good because in terms of the quotient system, tataas pa sila nun.
Tataas mo
Because, so it's a good thing.
You're right. Now for UP, yung game nila, talo na sila nun, kaya lang ang mangyayari, 0 yung magiging score nila. So para klaro rin tayo about the explanation. They fall 25-0, 25-0, 25-0 to National University, who beat them anyway. So for LaSalle, the speculation prior to the deliberation was they were probably going to forfeit 4 games. Again, that was the speculation in the newspapers, in a lot of the online news articles that came out. But the deliberation last Wednesday, that's the official statement. They forfeit 1 game, and that was against this team, which was 2 weeks ago, actually. The UE Lady Warriors. Nevertheless, they feel, I'm sure, that they won that game, and they want to prove that again today. So they're still at number 1, which is where they want to be, to avoid any kind of complication of meeting, let's say, UST in a Final Four. Kung sa kanila, I'm sure they're thinking if they're going to see UST, it might as well be in the finals.
That's right, because remember what happened last year actually with LaSalle. They were off to such a good start that nobody even, thought that, there was a team that could beat them. But then during the latter part, of course, we have UST.
Beating them, sweeping them actually in the finals too. All right, as we mentioned earlier, we have Ricky Flores and Patch Cansana at courtside. So we start with Patch, who is reporting from the UE side. Patch?
Well, Boom, UE is definitely going to raise their energy higher today. For Coach, he's been struggling with the team on how they have been performing for the past games. She told me, Boom, that she is not questioning their skills, but it's the attitude that she's focusing on now. For the past weeks, not everyone attends practice every day due to prioritizing their academics, and at the same time, with a change of temperature, the health of the players are getting affected, resulting to pure execution, just like in their last game against FU, because I learned that most of them are suffering from colds, but neither caused their decline after winning that first set. But today, UE is feeling the game, because number 1, they know that they need to get those points. Number 2, they have something to prove to everyone, and lastly, for them, it's not yet too late to crawl up the ladder.
And for UE, what they have right now is an opportunity, really, more than anything else.
That's right. They actually have nothing to lose.
Nag-gain pa nga. Marano in the middle. We're tied at 4, by the way. Rosales, longest rally of the game so far. Esperanza, back set.
Good defense being shown by UE.
Esperanza also unheralded too. Then a lot of people don't mention her, but Esperanza, a spectacular job as setter for LaSalle this year. With all of the weapons that she has, and many setters have that opportunity to have so many weapons, but the way she's been setting for them has also been splendid for LaSalle. They can concentrate on other things like the blocking, which is their strength also. They are the number 1 blocking team.
That's right.
Look at that front line, and
so tall.
Maranyo, Shaq Cruz, and
Gumabaw.
Well, you've covered a couple of UE games, and I know you always say that they get predictable at times with Dizon and then Rosales.
That's right, because the options are very few for them. So automatically, when these 2 players are in the front line, high chance of them getting the set.
6 serving 5. Stephanie Mercado. Rosales off the block. Kahiwalay. Yung blocking ni Gumabaw at Maranyo.
And that's just what UE needs. Look at this, Rosales.
Butas. Kimberly Dizon on deck to serve for the Lady Warriors. Chance ball for UE. Malong changing. 4 touches.
For the Lady Spikers, 4 touches.
At this point, that's what UE actually needs to do, to have some variation in terms of not just the shots, but also kung kanino nila isa-set up yung bola.
Esperanza again.
A block for
Mabaw. with the attacking
First
error
technical
gives
timeout.
UE the lead at 8-6. Back in a moment.